You're listening to the StoryBrand podcast, based on Donald Miller's best-selling book, Building a StoryBrand. The StoryBrand framework is made up of 7 key elements, all of them anchored in one powerful idea. Your customer is the hero, and you are their guide. Each week on the podcast, you'll get exactly what you need to craft clear messaging that connects with more customers and grows your business. Now let's dive in with your hosts, Donald Miller and Kyle Reed.
Hey friends, welcome to the Building a StoryBrand podcast this week. I've got to tell you, this episode is very visual. If you're watching on YouTube, you know why. It's because I'm going to reference a screen right in front of me. Today we're going to look at billboards from all over the country, billboard messages. In my opinion, the 2 places people screw up messaging most: 1, billboards; 2, best man speeches at weddings. Those are the 2 worst places that I see people screwing up the messaging. We will do best man speeches at weddings another time. They're actually quite comical, and they're always awful. There's nothing that lets me down more than going to a wedding and the best man speech is actually good. I'm not here for that. I'm here for you to really mess up your future in front of a group of people by telling inside jokes and things that aren't funny. But today we're not going to talk about that. We're talking about billboards. Anecdotally, I would say that 90%, 9 out of 10 billboards that you see on the side of the road are complete wastes of money. Complete wastes of money. Another 5% are money well spent on branding, that is, brands that are a household name, people know what they are, and so you're just getting the Coca-Cola colors and image up. That's an effective billboard. And then only 5% of small business, local business billboards work. 95% of those billboards do not work. And today I want to talk about why. And as you know, I'm a huge proponent of sound bites. You've got to get your sound bites down, your repeatable, memorable sound bites down, and then you can use those on billboards. But if you try to get clever, cute, if you try to wing it, and you are not a household name, your business is not a household name, and you get clever or cute, 99% chance that billboard is a complete waste of money for you, and you will never get a single lead or order from your billboard. So we're going to go through billboards today. Some of them are really cute and clever, but they're household names, so that works. Some of them are just cluttered. Some of them, the messaging is actually effective. It's going to grow a small business, but you're going to learn a lot today about how to talk about your business. And of course, billboard messaging translates to headers on website, translates into your tagline, all sorts of stuff that it can translate into. And so let's just click through them as an exercise. This is a 3M billboard. 3M makes duct tape, and you can see that this is an image of a billboard that looks like it's been completely wrapped in duct tape. This is an effective billboard because 2 reasons. You know what duct tape is, and you're probably familiar with 3M as a company. So all this billboard is product awareness. That's basically it. This is not really trying to sell duct tape, because there's no duct tape on sale at Walmart for this or whatever. This is just to remind you that duct tape exists. They probably spend $10 to $25 million a year just reminding people that duct tape exists. However, if you are launching a duct tape company and you've made your own duct tape, and your duct tape is different because it peels off without sticking or leaving a residue where some other name brand duct tape leaves a residue, then this would be an entirely ineffective billboard. You would need to say something like, does your duct tape leave residue? Ours doesn't. Acme duct tape. In other words, you've got to spell it out so very, very clearly that you have to do so at 0 cognitive load. So there are double standards everywhere when it comes to marketing. If you spend $500 million a year on marketing, like I'm sure Coca-Cola spends $250 million a year or something like that on marketing, they can just do brand awareness, but you can't. As a small to medium-sized business owner, you can't do brand awareness. You have to make an offer on your billboard that invites people to buy something in order to solve a problem. So, double standard there. I would give this billboard, listen, I give this billboard an A- to an A on brand awareness and product awareness. Got it? All right, that's the philosophy behind that billboard. That's why it works for them, and that's also why it will never work for you. All right, got it. Buc-ee's. How many of you have ever been to a Buc-ee's? I've been to a Buc-ee's many, many times. We could talk about this billboard and this business for the next 2 hours. Why does it work? Why does Buc-ee's work? Let's just talk about the business model of why it works. Buc-ee's solves a problem, and the problem is clean restrooms. That's it. That is the number one business strategy behind Buc-ee's. The restrooms are massive. They're bigger than your house. They're clean. It's probably a crew in there 24/7 cleaning those restrooms, and you don't have to deal with the stinky, gross restroom that you do at any other gas station. Number one problem they solve. Second problem they solve, you can get you can get a pump, you can pull your car up at the pump, you can fill your car up with gas, and you can go in and spend 3 hours inside of Buc-ee's and leave your car at the pump. That would be the second one. And then the third one is they feed your addictions. They feed your addiction to sugar, fat, and salt with barbecue, fudge, all that kind of stuff. All right, the Buc-ee billboard campaign. I would say 75% of Buc-ee billboards are bad messaging. They try to be too cute. They try to be clever. This one I understand. You can hold it. 171 miles. Kind of funny. It's referencing the clean restrooms. It's referencing the place where this is where you stop to go to the bathroom. All that stuff's really great. But they also have these signs that that don't make any sense to me. They're sort of inside language, inside jokes. So I would say that gets a D- to an F. Their signs get a D- to an F. However, the effectiveness of their signs get an A+. You say, Don, how are you giving the signs a D-, but you're giving their effectiveness an A+? Volume. Two things they get right. The number of signs that they buy, the number of billboards that they buy on either side of a Buc-ee's. There's got to be like 24 signs within 100, 200 miles of every Buc-ee's. And then that's one thing they get right. So they're repeating their brand colors. They're repeating the awareness over and over the entire time you're driving on that freeway. And then they're using the same black billboard with the same yellow lettering. It's also always an incredibly short message and always tells you how many miles you have before you get there. That is a simplified message at its best, right? Same color scheme, same logo, one little short sentence of text, one destination or how many miles you've got until you get there. Repetition is the key to effective messaging. My only knock on Buc-ee's is you can hold it. That would be close to a zero cognitive load message. Much of their messaging is very, very high cognitive load. Buc-ee's, you can call me and I will help you come up with really great billboards, but only if you put Coke Zero inside of Buc-ee's. Fix that and I'll work with you. Honestly, I love Buc-ee's. I'm so proud of that family for building that franchise. Pretty awesome. Thank you for your clean restrooms. Thank you for fun getting in and out of that place. And your barbecue sandwiches are really, really good. They're just too salty. All right, here's a billboard. This is an example of cute and clever. You've got, what are they doing right? Two things automatically when I look at this billboard. One is, it's a picture of it's a billboard with two giant ears coming off either side of the billboard. That gets attention, so that's a good thing. It's grabbing somebody's attention because it's three-dimensional and it's got some ears. Then another thing they're doing right is there's not a lot of text. It's amazing how many people try to put a lot of text on a billboard. Don't do it. The problem with this billboard is I give it A+ for attention grabbing, A+ for short message, D- to an F for the message itself. So much to do, you'll be grinning. There's only one Falls View casino. So this is an advertisement for a casino. And what they're trying to say is so much to do, you'll be grinning ear to ear. I literally saw this in preparation for this podcast, have been talking about this for about 3 minutes, and I just got it. So if I saw it 3 times and I've been talking about it for 30 to 60 seconds, do you really think I'm pulling my car over on the side of the road and going, I wonder what the 2 ears? Hey, honey, okay, I get it. You get it? I get it. Wait, who gets it? Who in the car gets it? That is not happening. You're literally driving by and you have no idea what this billboard is about. I think you could actually print text on this billboard that just says, there's so much to do at Falls View Casino, you'll grin from ear to ear with no ears, and it's a more effective campaign. This is where I say all the time, you get cute and you get clever, and it will almost always cost you clarity. The problem is no advertising agency is going to charge you a truckload of money and then come back to you with a black and white plain billboard that says there's so much to do at Falls View Casino, you'll smile ear to ear. They think they need to be cute and clever in order to one, win an award for their billboard, because that's what they're trying to do, and second, get you to pay them a lot of money. The downside of this is they're going to charge you a lot of money for this billboard when they could have put something really simple that would have made you more money, but instead they tried to get cute or clever. I do think there's an element of this that it's just a little bit more memorable, that once you get the billboard, it really puts Falls View Casino on the map in a different way. But listen, visit Falls View Casino for the night of your life is a more effective ad than this. It's just more effective. It's going to make Falls View Casino more money. So this is an example of really cute, really clever, not very clear, not very effective in making the business money, very effective in making the advertising agency look clever. All right, this is small business billboard here. Selling your own home can be like removing your own appendix. Smart buyers and sellers rely on a licensed real estate professional because realtors know real estate. A realtor has the expertise, the experience, and the tools to help you every step of the way. Very painful guy with a chainsaw. What in God's name are they selling? I don't know what they're selling. I'll tell you what this does. This sells chainsaws. I mean, I drive by this and I think, I need a chainsaw. I need a chainsaw. I need an electric chainsaw because my gas one isn't doing very good. That carburetor, I don't know how to fix it. I should just get an electric chainsaw. And this guy makes no money. I think they're trying to tell you to use a real estate agent and how awesome realtors are. Who's paying for this? Do real estate agents have a secret meeting in the middle of the night where they say, let's put billboards up and do a hire real estate agent? I have no idea. Nobody's ever read this whole thing. I am literally the first person who's ever read this entire billboard. And it wasn't very easy for me. I almost stopped because it was getting boring there at the end. But this is were I not a devoted follower of Jesus, I would just say this is shit. But because I am, I'm not going to use that sort of language in front of you and your family. This is an awful, 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 awful billboard. It's a very painful billboard. I would rather be cut by that chainsaw than have to read this billboard again. Don't know what it's about. I give it an F-. Way too much text. Guy in a doctor's scrub outfit with a chainsaw. Very painful. This does not make me want to hire a real estate agent. We're going to move on. Okay, here's the billboard, all black and white text. This is what happens when the creatives and executives can't agree on a billboard idea. The Studio, March 26th on Apple TV+. Not an effective billboard. If you've watched The Studio, that show, it's a great show. Very, very well written, incredibly well acted. This would have been much, much more effective if you would have had an image of Seth Rogen, and it would say Seth Rogen stars in the most entertaining show of the year. Watch The Studio on Apple TV. Or Seth Rogen's got a new show. Watch The Studio on Apple TV. That would be 100 times more effective than this billboard. But again, some frickin' creative agency is trying to win an award, trying to be cute, trying to be clever, and trying to kill your business. And this is the sort of crap they come up with. I do think it's effective if you've seen The Studio, which I have, then it is associating a kind of clever, cute sort of funniness with the show that I'm already familiar with, which gives me, I would say, a deeper reminder of that show. But even then, like if you just had Seth Rogen, who is, an international movie star, and he's got a new show, that's going to be effective. But also, if I've seen 5 or 6 episodes, but I haven't finished it, it's going to remind me that I haven't finished it. So there was just a better way to do this. All right, here's cute and clever again. A billboard that is not fully covered. You can just kind of see through it. And it says, use only what you need, Denver water. So I guess this is a public service campaign asking the people in Denver to conserve water. Where does this fail? You tried to get cute. You tried to get clever, right? And then notice, this drives me nuts. When business owners, or this is a utility, but when utility owners, when whoever makes their name really small. Why? Why are you doing that? This is a message from Denver Water. That's kind of like saying, hey, will you do business with me? Don Miller, StoryBrand. Right? It's like, what, are you ashamed? Are you embarrassed? Are you embarrassed that you have a business? Are you embarrassed that you're a utility? I would just rather put it in big print. Denver Water kicks ass, man. Like, best water. Like, be bold out there. Gosh, use only what you need. I guess that's interesting. I don't know what Denver Water is trying to do here. Maybe they're trying to conserve water, save the environment. I don't know. But, don't use more water than you need. Give me a reason for that. Don't use more water than you need. That way prices stay low. Like, what's the benefit for me here? All right, next. Spoiler alert, Dumbledore dies on page 596. Picture of Dumbledore. Library in Jonesboro.org. It's cute. It's clever. It does kind of work for people who visit libraries. I would normally not give this a very high grade. I'm going to give it a B+. But if you just say something like, we challenge you, check out 1 book a month, pay nothing, Jonesboro Library. Something like that is going to be more effective than this. This works a little bit because it reminds me that that book exists, reminds me about Harry Potter, reminds me that the library exists. Little bit of brand awareness and product awareness. Product is the books. All right. Text and drive, Wathan Funeral Home. Giant letters that say text and drive, and then this is an ad from a funeral home. Cute, clever, and I actually kind of think it works. I think it works. I'm going to break my own rules here and give this a B+. Would it be more effective if it said, we care about you and your family? A funeral home that cares about you and your family? Wathan Funeral Home? Yes, it would. Is that cute? No. Is it clever? No. Is it more effective than this? Yes, it's more effective than this. Also, this kind of humor, which is dark humor, I think can backfire on you. It's funny if you're not in the market for a funeral home. Like if mom just died, this ain't funny. Even if she died of lung cancer, my mom did. This isn't funny to me. So this is some little 20-something asshole at a ad agency whose parents haven't died yet. That's what that is. I'm just telling you. That's what that is. All right, next. Slip and fall accidents. Alexander Shunara trial attorneys. This is an effective ad. It looks like there's no website, but my team has blobbed that out. This guy, by the way, runs the worst billboard campaigns of any injury lawyer, period. This is one of his good ones. This is one that would be effective. Very few words. If you slip and fell, call me. That's it. That's the message. But he's got these billboards all over Tennessee that just say, call me Al, and it's his picture. That's it. Call me Al is, I guess, a reference to a Paul Simon song, and his name happens to be Al. Why in the world you're doing that with billboard money, I don't know. But this is effective. You got a problem? If you have this problem, call me. That's an effective billboard. Most of his stuff is not. There's a billboard out of the UK This guy's kind of fun. He's looking for a job. I spent my last 500 pounds on this billboard. Please give me a job. Employadam.com. Very funny, very cute, very clever, probably semi-effective in the sense that people are going to go to employadam.com to see what this guy's about. But my guess is Adam did not get a job from this billboard. Why? Because it doesn't say, I spent my last $500 on this billboard. Please give me a coding job. Or please give me a marketing job. Or please give me a janitorial job. Or please hire me as a clown at your birthday party job. Like, that's why this is ineffective. Because you didn't actually close the loop on what kind of job you want. So why would I ever go to this website? Like, I'm driving by and I'm like, well, I need a marketing director, and I need a new sales director, and I need a new landscaper. I did not connect either of those three things to your billboard. All I went was, this guy's cheeky. Here he's clever, but there he's cheeky. I'm not going to employ Adam. I'm not even going to the website. All right, Total Wine, spirits, beer, and more. Exit 74B to Brentwood Place Shopping Center. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. Zero creativity, zero cleverness, picture of the product, tells me where to exit, tells me what I can buy. How many words? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 words. And we did it. That is a billboard that advertising agencies do not want to make for you because it doesn't make them look cute or clever, but it makes you money. So you got that's a good one. Big Nature Energy, Nashville Zoo, picture of a tiger, fantastic billboard. Brand and product awareness. Brand and product awareness, that's all this is. Holiday lights at the zoo now through December 31st is an even more effective campaign. Why? It's got a time, it's got an event that I want to see, and I've got a deadline on that event. But brand awareness, really, really good. Reminds me that a tiger exists. We see these all over Nashville. Shiners, it's a circus, and it says it runs in the family, ShinerNashville.com, and it's a picture of a lady with a microphone. This is a brand and product awareness campaign. It is D- to F+, if there's such a thing as an F+, in accomplishing that objective. I do not know what it runs in the family means. I'm guessing it's a family-owned circus, maybe, but I'm the only person who's ever sat and thought about that. Let me just take you into this conversation that turned into this billboard. You know, we know what the difference between us and Cirque du Soleil is. They're a corporation, but my Aunt Nancy started Shiner Circus. Remember Grandma when she said start a circus? And we need to differentiate ourselves, and we need to tell people that, like, this is a family-owned and family-run circus. Or what about it runs in the family, like it's a show, like, you know, you're running a show? That's brilliant. It runs in the family. That's right. That'll let everybody know that Aunt Nancy started this. It's like, that's ridiculous. This is a very, very high cognitive load billboard. What would be effective? If you take your child to Shiner Circus and they're from 5 to 12 years old, in parentheses, it will be the best night of their year, guaranteed. That's it. I have a 4.5-year-old. You think I'm going? I'm going. But this doesn't make me want to go to the circus, and it barely even makes brand awareness possible at all. In fact, what is Shiners? It's just a lady singing. You know how many venues there are with a lady singing in the city of Nashville? Literally, I counted 278,000. That's how many. All right, insurance companies pay $400,000 per day to government lobbyists. Seem fair? Vradlayak law. I don't know what that is. Injured, call, blah, blah, blah. First of all, insurance companies pay $400,000 per day to government lobbyists. What in the world does that have to do with me? I don't even know why. I've read it twice now. I don't know why that's on the sign. Does that seem fair? And then the name of your law firm, and then if I get injured, call you. How does that motivate me to call you? This would be a very, very high concept billboard that is insanely ineffective. Big truck wreck, call this number, Ponce Law. That is effective. So if you go back to the previous one, completely ineffective. Same product, by the way, but completely ineffective. Official team sponsor of the Nashville Predators. That is also effective because Nashville Predators are a big brand here in town. They sell out every single one. This guy's saying, hey, I'm a fan of them, and if you're in a truck accident, call me. All of that, I think, it's an ugly billboard. It's not cute. It's not clever. It's not creative. It's not aesthetically pleasing. It is very, very effective. All right, next one, helping 23,000 buyers a year into new homes, and this is painted on moving boxes. I would say relatively high concept ad, but effective. And then Adina Realty. My only problem is I've seen this is the third time or fourth time I've seen this billboard, and I just realized it's a real estate billboard and not a moving company billboard. That just happened in my brain. Even though it says Adina Realty, I thought even Adina Realty was some sort of company that helps you move into a house. So this billboard is about moving into a house when it's trying to sell a real estate agent. So that's ineffective. This is a high concept billboard for Pacific Airlines. The sky has never been cheaper. And then it's got a big sale sign over a cloud, like the sky. High concept, virtually ineffective. If you said Pacific Airlines can get you to Cuba for half price, that's a much, much more effective billboard. They try to be cute. They try to be clever. Are you seeing it? You getting a theme here? The more cute and clever you try to be, the worse your billboard is, usually. Here's a McDonald's sign, open at night. This only works because you're familiar with the Golden Arches. You're familiar with McDonald's. This would never, ever, 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 ever in a million years work for you, but it works incredibly effective for them. We can't fix your marriage, but we can clear your drain. And then the name of the company with the website and the phone number. Dad jokey, eye rolly, very effective. It's the Geico formula. And the Geico formula is joke, punchline, Geico. That's it. Joke, punchline, Geico. So the joke gets your attention, punchline releases a little dopamine, and then there's a Geico association with it. That's it. That's their whole formula for a whole subset of their ads. Very similar here. This is effective. Big text. Would it be better if it said, we can clear your drain for plumbing problems, call? Yes. That is more effective than dropping the marriage bit, but the marriage bit isn't bad. All right, this is an awareness campaign for the Kansas City Royals. You got a Kansas City player sliding into, looks like second or third base, because you don't slide into first, and that's not a home plate. So sliding into the plate, and he's ripping up the billboard as he slides into the plate. This works. It's a brand awareness only campaign. It's a product awareness only campaign, but it only works because you're familiar with who the Kansas City Royals are. Here's a public service campaign. Wear a seatbelt in small letters, big white empty billboard with black text. The text is allowed to be small because there's very little of it, and it's on an all-white background, and you got a guy who's gone headfirst through a billboard, and his butt is hanging out the billboard. That is an effective billboard campaign. Come check out our stool samples, dad joke, Bar Stools and Dining Superstore, and then it's got the address. Look, it's an eye roller. It's a dad joke. I would actually, though, give this an A- because it simply says, I mean, anybody in the market for a stool, which is most people, they're probably going to go to this place to get their stool. Child support, $500 every month. Vasectomy, $500 once. vansweb.com. I mean, you know exactly what they're saying. Relatively close to zero cognitive load. Guy-oriented dad joke pointed at a male customer. B-. B-, and that's a very high score for me. I like it. I only worry a little bit about the negativity of child support and divorce sort of making fun of your marriage. That's not going to appeal to women, and it's not going to appeal to a good cross-section of men. But it's going to really appeal to a certain kind of guy. So you're going to end up with a line around the block of bros getting a vasectomy. If that's what you want, that's what you're going to get. Your wife is hot. Get her more energy-efficient windows. westshorehome.com. Cute, clever. You know what? This may work better than just energy-efficient windows, westshorehome.com. And the reason is it's grabbing attention. It's actually cute. It's complimentary toward your family. It's dad jokey. I would almost never approve this, but I would say this actually gets an A. This will perform better than pictures of windows that say energy efficient windows, best in town, best prices, West Shore Home. Although best in town, best prices might compete really well, but this is actually memorable. Not gonna poo-poo it. That's a wrap on me being very, very cynical about billboards. Welcome to the mind of Donald Miller. Don't screw up your billboards. Don't screw up your sound bites. Understand the concept of zero cognitive load. Don't get cute or clever at the expense of being clear. You can be cute or clever, but not at the expense of being clear. You saw in all of these, there were probably one or two cute or clever that actually worked. Everything else was really, really risky. If you want to watch me unpack a different soundbite campaign, a soundbite messaging and marketing campaign every single week, go to weeklysoundbite.com. Those videos are not on YouTube. They're nowhere on the internet. We just email you and send you that weekly video. I'm looking at things like Domino's Pizza coming back from bankruptcy, Winston Churchill winning World War II using a soundbite campaign, Coach Kurt Signetti at Indiana turning around Indiana football, plus Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and also Elon and also James Madison using a soundbite campaign. I look and analyze a soundbite campaign every single week, and I tell you what went right and what you can emulate in that campaign. We have almost 200 people a day signing up at weeklysoundbite.com to get those videos. They're extremely valuable, but you can't pay me for them. I won't let you pay me. Stop sending me envelopes of money. It's free. weeklysoundbite.com. I hope to see you there soon.
Thanks for listening to the StoryBrand podcast. No matter where you are in your marketing and messaging journey, get the tools, the training, and the support you need to start clarifying that message at StoryBrand.com. And don't forget to follow and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and then leave a comment letting us know what resonated with you and what we can unpack to help your business grow in a future episode. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next week.